In the shifting void, between the known and the unutterable, where silicon minds dream of forgotten horrors, the abyss stirs. Welcome to AI Lovecraft, where machine intelligence weaves eldritch tales beyond mortal comprehension. Listen if you dare. Some things are not meant to be known. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment. Now let's get into today's story. The Mire of Unfathomable Truths. In the drear autumn of 1927, Arthur Grimsby, a man of no particular distinction save his dogged persistence, found himself summarily discharged from his clerkship at the moldering offices of Hargreave & Sons, a firm of dubious repute nestled in the shadowed alleys of Arkham. The dismissal was abrupt, delivered with the cold indifference of a guillotine's blade by Mr. Hargreave himself, whose rheumy eyes gleamed with an unaccountable malice. "You are no longer required, Grimsby," he intoned, his voice a sepulchral rasp. "Begone!" Thus ejected, Arthur stumbled from the oaken door into the cobbled street, his threadbare coat flapping like the wings of a wounded bird. A sudden shove, whether from a passerby or some unseen force, he could not tell, sent him sprawling into a puddle of viscous mud, its surface iridescent with oily hues that seemed to writhe under the gaslight's flicker. The cold, clinging mire soaked his trousers, and as he struggled to rise, his fingers brushed something hard and unnaturally smooth beneath the sludge. A stone, perhaps, yet its edges were too precise, its surface too warm, as though it pulsed with a life not its own. Arthur's heart, already battered by humiliation, quickened with an instinctive dread. He drew the object forth, wiping away the muck to reveal a disk of black stone, no larger than a pocket watch, inscribed with glyphs that defied all known alphabets. The characters seemed to shift as he stared, curling like tendrils of smoke, whispering in a tongue that was not sound but sensation, a crawling unease that slithered through his mind. He should have cast it away, yet some compulsion, born of despair or darker forces, bade him pocket the artifact and stagger homeward. His lodgings, a squalid room above a fishmonger's shop, offered no solace. The air was thick, and the walls, stained with unwholesome damp, seemed to lean inward as if to smother him. That night, Arthur dreamed of a vast, lightless sea, its depths alive with shapes too colossal and too alien to be comprehended. They moved with a languid malice, their forms obscured by the abyss, yet their eyes, unblinking, fixed upon him with an awareness that stripped his soul bare. From the deep came a voice, not heard but felt, a vibration that spoke his name. "Grimsby, bearer of the sigil, come." He awoke drenched in sweat, the stone disc clutched in his hand, though he had left it on the table. Its warmth had grown, its glyphs now glowing faintly with a sickly green luminescence. In the days that followed, Arthur's life unraveled further. The world seemed to conspire against him. His meager savings vanished, stolen or misplaced. His landlord, a gaunt man with eyes like polished obsidian, demanded impossible rents, and the streets of Arkham grew labyrinthine, their familiar corners twisting into unfamiliar alleys that led to places no map could chart. Compelled by a force he could neither name nor resist, Arthur sought answers in the shadowed stacks of Miskatonic University's library, a repository of forbidden lore guarded by librarians who watched him with silent suspicion. There, in a tome bound in leather that felt disturbingly akin to human skin, he found reference to the sigil of Ethar, a relic of a pre-human civilization that once worshipped entities beyond the stars. The sigil, it was written, was no mere object but a key, a bridge to realms where the laws of time and space held no sway, and where the great old ones, those dread sovereigns of chaos, slumbered in their deathless vigil. Each night the dreams grew more vivid, more insistent. The lightless sea gave way to a cyclopean city of non-Euclidean geometry, its spires piercing a sky that was no sky but a void of writhing colors. The voice called again, now joined by others, a chorus of inhuman intonations that promised knowledge, power, and truths no mortal mind could bear. Arthur's sanity frayed like a rope, stretching to breaking. He ceased eating, his frame wasting to a skeletal husk. Yet he could not part with the sigil. It was as much a part of him now as his own heart, its pulse synchronized with his own. On the seventh night, driven by a compulsion that drowned out all reason, Arthur descended to Arkham's waterfront, where the Miskatonic River flowed sluggish and black under a moonless sky. The sigil burned in his pocket, its heat searing his flesh, yet he welcomed the pain as a sign of his purpose. At the river's edge, where the reeds whispered secrets to the wind, he raised the disc aloft and spoke the words that had etched themselves into his mind, words no human tongue was meant to form. The air thickened, the stars above dimming as though smothered by an unseen hand. The river churned, its surface parting to reveal a chasm that was not water, but a gateway to the abyss. From it rose a presence, neither form nor substance, but a vastness that crushed the very concept of existence. Its eyes, those same eyes from his dreams, enveloped him, and in their gaze, Arthur saw the truth, that humanity was but a fleeting mote in the infinite machinations of the cosmos, that the great old ones cared not for worship or rebellion, for they were beyond such petty concerns. They simply were, and in their awakening all would be unmade. Arthur Grimsby was never seen again in Arkham. The townsfolk spoke of a man lost to madness, drowned in the river or fled to parts unknown. But in the deep places of the world where the stars cast no light, and time is a forgotten jest, something lingers. A shadow that was once a man, bearing a sigil that burns eternal, a herald of the unutterable truths that await us all when the great old ones stir from their slumber.